Alright guys, last part to this Illustrator tips and tricks. Unfortunately I wasn't able to fit it into the last video, but it's the last one I wanted to show you, and it's really just utilizing clipping masks, which again some of you guys may be familiar with, others this may be something new. But essentially clipping masks are really effective for hiding or containing areas of an illustration or an object in a particular shape that you're trying to house them in. So for example, I have this sort of rough S that's moving over this circle here, and you can see here it's sort of contained within the circle here. Even if I click on the shape though, you'll see that it actually still runs outside of that, but then on the bottom it's still being revealed outside of this shape. So one way that we can do that is I'm going to go ahead and just actually I'll just erase this guy here. I'll bring this up just a second. Let's take a look at this a little bit further. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to contain this shape within this circle here, right? So the first thing that we want to do is actually take this shape, which is going to be the format of the clipping mask, and copy and paste that on front. So the first thing we do is we select the shape that the clipping mask is going to be. We're going to go to copy. We're going to go to paste in front. And it's also a good idea to go to arrange and bring to front, just to make sure, like right there, you saw that it actually popped to the front. Even though we pasted in front, it didn't paste it in front of all of our objects, and we need it to be in front of the object that we're going to have be within the clipping mask. So it's really important to go up to that object, arrange, bring to front. So once that I have this shape in front of the shape that I want to be within the clipping mask, I now need to select both of those. So I'm going to select the shape which is going to become the clipping mask shape, and I'm also going to select this shape in the background by holding Shift. So now I have both of those selected. If I come up here to Object, Clipping Mask, and Make, or Command 7 is the shortcut, what it does is it contains that shape within the clipping mask, which is what I wanted, right? I have this circle. We can see that it's still going outside of that clipping mask, but it's hiding it, it's containing it within that clipping mask. Now if I wanted to alter this still, I can actually double click inside of this, and when I do so, you'll notice that it opens up this clipping mask group here, and that gives me the ability to move this shape around within this clipping mask and reposition it if I needed to, or even make any sort of changes to that specific shape if I needed to, that sort of thing. So you'll notice that on this one that I made down here, I have this clipping mask that's containing it, but then I also have the shape coming out of the clipping mask on the bottom like it was originally. So in order to give that sort of effect, what I need to do is actually copy this shape and place it in front again, and then get rid of part of that top. So it's just a bit of a trick here. So what I can actually do is double click back into my clipping mask again. I'm going to click on this shape that I have. I'm going to go to Edit, Copy, and then I'm going to back out of the clipping mask. I can either back out one level by using the arrow here and going all the way back so that I'm working with my, my original artboard again. And now I'm going to come up here to Edit, Paste in Front. Now what that's done is it's pasted that exact shape that I had right on top, right? So now I can see, well, it's not within my clipping mask anymore, but I have this additional shape here. Well, all I really need to do here is just erase this top portion of it. So I could either click the individual anchor points and erase that, or change the shape somehow. Another way I could do it is just by using the eraser tool. So the eraser tool can be found over here. And as long as I have that shape selected, I can just erase the top portion, and which is going outside of that, and basically leave that bottom portion there. Now what's happening is I still have two shapes here, right? I have the one within my clipping mask, and then I have this new one that I put on top. But since they're the identical shape, and I've just removed that top portion, it kind of gives this illusion of it coming from within this clipping mask and then coming outside of that clipping mask there. So just a little bit of copy and pasting and placement manipulation within that clipping mask to give this illusion of this shape being within the clipping mask and then sort of coming out of the clipping mask there as well. So just some really interesting ways that you can utilize those clipping masks moving forward. So that was the last thing that I wanted to touch base on. I know that that's a lot of different tips and tricks for you, and some of those might be really helpful. Others you may not utilize anytime soon, but hopefully this gives you a little bit more insight into some of the tools, some of the abilities that we have here within Illustrator, and maybe some of these will be some helpful tips and tricks within your book cover project moving forward. As always, let me know if you have any questions, and thank you very much.